Many things happened to actually shift consciousness on this once the right wing decided that this was a major wedge issue. And I think the issue from a conflict analysis point of view is to understand party politics in the United States and in the West in general. That party politics is built on wedge issues, on things that can divide people. It's actually the opposite of conflict resolution. It's about how to generate conflict in order to win in office. And one of the very disturbing things that's been happening since the 90s in the United States is that the classic conservative positions were undermined, in my analysis, by Bill Clinton and by others, precisely because Bill Clinton became so fiscally conservative. He went mainstream. He turned against the welfare state in many respects. And in so doing, he undermined the entire conservative wedge issue. The wedge issue for them, for many, many decades, was Democrats are irresponsible with money. They spend too much and they tax too much. And so their narrative, the narrative of the right, was, we will lower your taxes and we will not waste your money. Along comes Bill Clinton and he becomes better than them at creating fiscal, conservative fiscal policy, dismantling the welfare state, and at the same time creating a huge budget surplus. So he became the responsible corporate America, and it drove them crazy, which is why they moved to Monica Lewinsky and all those other issues. Because suddenly social issues, religious issues had to become front and center because the classic position had been, the bottom fell out of it. Many other things were happening, but that trajectory of moving further and further towards irrational or hateful wedge issues, as opposed to principled positions of conservatism versus liberalism, has been the hallmark of the last 10, 15 years. And that's getting worse and worse. So I knew, there were people in the State Department who told me at least 3 years ago, I remember at my institute, somebody who came to one of my courses and then followed my emails and such, and she was very high up in the State Department, and she said, in 2 years from now, immigrants are going to be the #1 wedge issue. So she knew what was coming because they knew what they were planning in the right. And so basically, foreigners, immigrants, Arabs, Muslims, anybody who can be considered foreign has become the theme, the thematic wedge issue that, of course, capitalizes on 9/11. So unfortunately, Imam Faisal stepped right into it. And he stepped into it also by making this, by his intention to making this so big that it would counteract 9/11. He dreamed really big. And the irony is there's already mosques right in the neighborhood. Right. Nobody's saying a word about those mosques. It's that he wanted to raise hundreds of millions of dollars. And I am very sorry with the way that this has transpired. I think that in hindsight, if he had talked to me about this, I would have said, make sure to make it a cultural center and make it a Jewish, Islamic, Christian project. Really? Make it a New York project that would have a mosque, that would have a cultural center, that would have all sorts of Islamic-sponsored activities, but together. Because my instincts on America say to me that this is where things have gone. Are they right to be doing this to them? Are they targeting and feathering the wrong person? Absolutely. Unfortunately, though, that's the way it is now.